Welcome to the Orange Hammer Podcast. My name is Corbett Storick. I've been a licensed general contractor for 8+ years, specializing in new construction, renovation, furniture building. I'm the son of an architect and an interior designer, and I've been surrounded in this industry since birth, watching all aspects from concept, design, build, punch list, and of course, all the problems that come up in between. In my time in Durham, North Carolina, I've noticed a significant gap in knowledge between homeowners who need work and the people who do the work. On this podcast, I hope to break down the process of homeownership from the perspective of both the homeowner and the contractor in an effort to help raise the knowledge of homeowners about their homes and the construction/renovation process. I hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying the Orange Hammer Podcast, or if you have a topic that you want covered, or have recently done a project, please contact the Orange Hammer Podcast. The Orange Hammer Podcast is on Instagram and Facebook. Please like and subscribe, share on whatever platform you're enjoying your podcast on. Also, check out our YouTube channel, The Orange Hammer. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by CRS Contracting LLC for all your construction and handyman needs, new buildings to renovations, furniture building, EV charger install, or even a TV mounted. You can call me, Corbett Storick. It'd be my pleasure to help you. You can find me on Instagram at CRS Contracting. WSDG, the Walter Storick Design Group, specialists in architectural and acoustical consulting. Check out WSDG.com. And Taylor Bragg, for all your artistic needs in all mediums. You can find her on Instagram at brag_about_art. That's brag, BRGG, with 2 G's. She's the fantastic artist behind the Orange Hammer logo, and she did my fantastic table painting of my podcasting table. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by Stacy Sloan with Keller Williams Elite Realty, proudly serving the Durham and Triangle area for 25 years. Call Stacy at 919-972-1180. The Orange Hammer Podcast is proud to be brought to you by Rachel Z with Rachel Z Real Estate Team Realty. From the Triangle to the Triad, call Rachel Z at 919-323-6068. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 90 of the Orange Hammer Podcast. We have a renewed guest, or no, that's not the right word, a second-time guest, Amanda Jordan. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for coming. You reached out, wanted to come back on. It is an honor to have you back on. I appreciate it. And we'll just dive right into it. You've transitioned professionally.
Yes.
From Red 22.
Yep.
Which was, should I say was or is? Like, is Red 22? It still is.
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
cool. So Red 22 very much still is a very good, I guess we won't call him GC, builder.
Yeah. Carpenter,
yeah. Builder. Yeah. From decks and fences to trim carpentry and cabinets and stuff like that. And basically everything but the whole framing of a house.
Yeah.
So that's very cool. But you've branched off, or I guess I'll let you fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
Like, did you branch? Is this a division of Red? Like, what's the story?
So I originally started cleaning with Red. They were doing a lot of new homes on the market or homes on the market where they had to, do the checklist, and then they need to clean before they put it on the market. And so I was like, well, heck, I can clean. That's easy. Moved enough times. I got this covered. And lately, it's just kind of been like, what am I doing with my life? I'm capable of owning my own business, and it's time to get started. And so at the beginning of the month, I had made Built2clean is the name of the company, because I like working out, and I figured why not incorporate the two things, business and cleaning, that I love, and make it happen. So move in, move out cleans, commercial cleans, new build cleans.
And just for listeners, because this will not come out close to this date. It's December 11th, 2023. Yes. So you're talking about November of 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have a lot of I record these episodes as quickly as I can get guests because I'm just so excited to have anybody come on, but I drop them once a week. So like as we're talking right now, episode 67 is live and this is 90. So this will come out in like 25 weeks to very much help promote 25 weeks from now. You're going to get a nice surge of business. I like that. Yeah. So it sounds like you were kind of like already doing it. Was Red 22 building in a cleaning fee, or was it just like you guys were like, well, we do good work and good work means you got to clean up?
So both. Some of it was a cleaning fee that they had already incorporated it. And then others were, we want to make sure that you're happy when we leave. And so we just cleaned. And then we had a couple Airbnb properties that he had helped get up to par. And they needed weekly cleaners anytime their tenants would move out.
Right. Yeah.
So I volunteered for that. And since, Aaron had made good rapport, Red 22 had made good rapport, they're like, well, we'll try you out. And so I just kind of was growing it organically, part-time. But now that Red is up and going, I am ready to start a new venture and really kind of dive deep and see what I am able to do.
So Red is like on autopilot.
Yeah, they're good. And actually, I think maybe Connor Lowe.
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So he is my business partner.
Okay.
So we're on this kind of journey together. So that's good.
Yeah. Connor is now one of my financial advisors officially.
Awesome. And
he will be a podcast guest if he can ever get his compliance to come through. And we're in a networking group together that is like, it kind of operates like a BNI.
Okay.
Except it's completely free, and we don't waste everybody's time with like, hey, here's an intro of you already know me, so you don't have to tell you. It's more like, hey, what do you need? What do you have to offer? Quick, let's go. And then like sometimes somebody will give like a quick chat, and it's just like very efficient, and it's at like 2 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. Although yours wasn't at 8 a.m.
No, it's at 11.
When I went to yours, it was reasonable.
Yeah. Lunch crowd.
It was very funny. So when I went to yours, I don't know if you remember, but I brought Glenn, my like shirt guy. He was sitting on the end, and he brought his girlfriend because I didn't know what BNI was at all. Never even heard of it. And I like knew Kat, Kat Fleetwood, who's also in it. And she saw me messaging you, and she chimed in and was like, it's my BNI. It's fun. Come and hang out. And I was like, okay, 2 people are telling me this is fun. Come hang out. I thought it was like your RAP.
Yeah, not even close.
It couldn't be further, right? But that's what I told Glenn. And I'm like, Glenn, come on, I'll drive. There's food trucks. It's at a gun club. We might go shooting. We'll look at guns. We'll socialize. We'll pass around business cards, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, okay, sure. That sounds fun. Can I bring my girlfriend? I'm like, yeah, we're just going to go have a good time. And then we get there and it's like a very formal sit-down meeting and structured. And it was like, oh, we need to prepare a little spiel. And like, as we're going around, I like make eye contact with him and I'm just like mouthing the words, I'm sorry, really loud. He's like, this is hilarious. I don't even know what to do. None of these people need shirts. Like, it was just hysterical. Just like laughing at it on the truck ride home was just very funny. But all the other BNIs I've been to, with the exception of one, are always at like 8 a.m.
Yeah, they're super early because they like to get it done and then go.
But like respectfully, I live in Durham and like 8 a.m, 30 minutes to carry. Yeah. It's just not.
Probably not for you.
It's just not happening weekly to meet the same people.
So the thing about BNI though is really it's focused on visitors. And so.
Yeah, it's like a recruiting tool.
Kind of, yeah. But also, I have to say, BNI has been super helpful for me, just in the people that I've met in the past couple of years, and truly building those connections. It's not for everybody, because it is more structured.
I'm shitting on it in a joking way,
absolutely,
to be clear. But even me as a guest, I have made contacts that have become legit contacts as well as legit friends.
Yeah,
and So like anytime I get invited to a BNI as a visitor, I go. So my jokingly shitting on thing is more like I don't understand
how somebody would pay to be part of it, to show up every week.
Right.
Like,
it's a lot.
for me, I get like, oh yeah, you do a visitor every like 2-3 months. You go, you get 15 business cards, you drop 15 business cards, and then if you're me, then I reach out the next day with, here's my Linktree website, here's my Blink contact card, hit save, no problem. Let's get a coffee. I'll buy. I don't even care. Just let me get my face in front of your face.
Right.
And like half of the time, you have a Edward Jones guy. I think his name is Gabe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a one-on-one with him, and I was like, I wouldn't invest with Edward Jones if they were paying me, but it was still just like, let's get a coffee.
Right.
I felt a little bad because he definitely brought like his Edward Jones folder and was like, this dude wants to be an investor. And I was like, oh, I definitely don't want to be no, I just thought you were cool, and let's get a coffee.
Right. Right.
But, yeah. So that's where my like jokingly shitting on BNI comes from.
Absolutely.
I think it's like $700 a year.
Yeah, I think because they just upped their price in the Triangle and last year.
Okay.
So typically, I think other places are more expensive, but typically you get that back pretty fast by the contacts that you make.
I mean, it's a write-off.
So right. Well, that too.
Yeah.
But for me personally, it was really just getting myself out there after COVID, and trying to grow a carpentry business and really not knowing anybody.
Yeah. Also, you are not that you don't serve the entire large triangle, but you are not located and based in a large, huge part. Like, you're not in like center Raleigh where
Correct.
It's just like throw a stone and somebody needs something fixed. You're out in Franklinton. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I always short it to Franklin by accident, but Franklin County is a real place.
Yeah.
So can't do that. Yeah. Have to get that together. Okay. So just circling back a little bit, you were kind of already doing this work. Sometimes the cleaning fee was built in, sometimes it wasn't, and y'all at Red 22 just do high quality work, which includes cleaning up. Anybody listening, if your people are not cleaning up, that's a red flag.
Correct.
Like, back charge them. If you spend 45 minutes cleaning up after them, find out what their hourly rate is and pay them 45 minutes worth of that hourly rate less, because that is baloney, man. Like, just clean it up.
How many trades don't?
Yeah, my plumbers are the worst, and I love my plumbers. Like, that tells you how good they are, that I put up with it every job.
See, what I noticed is painters.
Really?
Oh my gosh, dumping it down the toilets, the sinks, things like that, and then just leaving it.
Oh. Huh. I guess now that I think about it, most of the time my water's off for the painter. So I'm just you guys have to figure it out.
They can't do that then.
Yeah.
But if it's
No, that's not true. I think my fix that I just realizing I've been doing subconsciously is the water's onto the house, but in the crawl space there's a master shutoff, so all they can use is the garden hose.
Oh yeah, see, that's
so
perfect.
They'll rinse on the garden hose, and yeah, there will be a paint puddle in the front lawn, but that's just expected. And
Correct.
You're just like, if that's the worst, then okay. Yeah. But no, I mean, if they were jumping down my news, plus yeah, because they go in before the toilets, so they can't pour in because they need to paint the wall behind the toilet. So like, my painters go in before toilets, usually before sink fixtures, because I want them to paint behind it.
Yeah, see,
and then the plumber just drops those in real quick. And if he does a little scuff, it's like one little touch up.
Yep.
For me, I guess everyone has their story, right? For me, it's the plumbers constantly picking up the empty can of pipe glue that they just like finished in the crawl space and just left it. They were like, okay, well, it's empty and we're done. Back on out. The hilarious part though is when I find like their $100 tools under there.
Right.
And I'm like, don't you want this Sawzall, this battery powered DeWalt Sawzall that's $149 brand new that has your name written on it in Sharpie? James McKinney. I'm shouting him out. Maybe you want this. Like, I'm going to leave it on the front stoop for you. Also, please go clean up your trash. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, you could do a few things to mitigate it. I have like, it doesn't seem like a big thing, but dumpster placement helps.
Absolutely. Because people don't want to walk super far.
Yeah. If you could like, I remember when we were gutting a second floor and I backed that thing up so close to the house you couldn't open it, but we were just throwing stuff out a second story window right down into the dumpster.
Good anger management too.
Oh yeah, well that was back in the day when I used to gut stuff like with my body. Now I don't, but like sledgehammer. You literally just like gloves and goggles, and then just sledge. Like you don't need anything else. Sledge or crowbar, and it's like, all right, if it's not a yellow tool, rip everything else out and throw it away. Like we're ripping the wires out, we're ripping the plumbing out. Like this doesn't even have heat. Like rip it everything. We're down to the studs.
See, that'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun the first room.
Well, yeah, then you get tired of it.
Then it's like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I wish I had 7 dudes. And then I hired 11 dudes for the next house. And I did it with them because I was like, yeah, I want to sweat and work out and blah, blah, blah. But like, I'm out here ripping out the kitchen cabinets, and I walk out of the kitchen and there's a wall gone. Like 5 dudes ripped out the wall in 12 minutes. This one particular job, they were so fast. We filled the dumpster so quick that by 1, we were done because I was like, I'm not having you do it twice.
Right.
Like if you demo anything more, I don't have anywhere to put it, and the dumpster guy won't be here till 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So here's a couple of dollars for your, 9 to 1, and come back tomorrow at 9 and there'll be a new dumpster. But it was like, I didn't realize that like 9 guys really get it done.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was yeah. That's why I also like dump trailers sometimes.
Yes.
Because you can hook up almost a small SUV and move those things. Like I wouldn't do it on a highway for a long distance, but if you're like, I gotta move it 10 feet or 5 feet or whip it around the corner or just let's turn it to the left, like you can do that. Whereas those slide off guys, they're not moving.
Right. Yeah.
And they messed up your garage or they messed up your driveway.
Your yard or your driveway.
Yeah. I used to put plywood down and it didn't really do much. No. Like I did plywood once and it just shredded through the plywood and fucked up the grass. And I was like, okay, that was pointless. I should have just done nothing and gotten the landscaper when the job was done. Like I thought I would have to do. Yeah. But
isn't it lovely how you learn those shitty mistakes?
Yeah. Well, the dumpster person was like, you should get plywood. And I was like, okay, like he knows best. He's the dumpster guy. Incorrect. Yeah. But you got to learn.
Yeah,
it took me 11 houses to 11 full like gut all the way down, make all the way new. Like that's where I got all these tricks of the trade. So.
I think that's a really important point too, is we get caught up in like forgetting how long it takes to realize the mistakes that we make and how to fix them. It's crazy. That's
another good point when I've had some people, not necessarily on the podcast, but just in life, have conversations where they don't think they're worth a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And it's like exactly what you said is such a key point where it's like you spent 10 years figuring it out. Like now it's really fast for you, but the 10 years of figuring it out counts. And that also goes into your hourly or whatever you're doing, hourly, whatever. It's irrelevant how you're structuring it, but your fee.
Right.
And that it needs to be factored.
I think people forget that. They
don't
want
a lot of people forget that.
They don't want to do the work.
Yeah.
But then they're like, well, that's too much. Why are you charging so much? Well, you don't want to do the work anyway, so why does it matter what I charge?
Yeah, it is very interesting, and I find myself falling victim to it as well, and I like know better, and I'm the one who knows what stuff costs. But every once in a while, I'll go to price something, and I'll get a price for something, and I'm like, that's not the price I had in my head. And it's like, well, where did this head price come from?
Right.
Like I'm in the trade, so I can kind of be like, well, you should know what it costs, and you're off by $2,000, and it's 15 instead of 13, blah, blah, blah. But a lot of times when like a customer gives me a price, it's like, where did you come up with this number?
Yes.
Like, why do you think that it should be $2,000? And they're just like, well, that's just what I'm comfortable paying. And like, that's cool, but different. That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Like if your budget is $2,000, we should have a $2,000 option.
Correct.
Where like, we're maxing at $700 worth of materials because about 800 to 1,000 is going to be materials and stuff, and labor. So it's like, that's what we can have. We can have that conversation. But if you want me to come in and just tell you what the bathroom costs, your $2,000 comfortability is not relevant
Correct.
to this is what the bathroom costs. Like, I didn't make your tub wider than it needed to be. This is just what you called me.
Right.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So the cleaning service you're doing residential and commercial?
Residential and commercial.
Okay.
Move in, move outs.
Okay.
Weekly, bi-weekly, monthly.
Okay. So you'll do everything from we just finished the house to somebody moved out to just my house. You'll come every month or whatever
Yep.
and clean. Okay.
Yep.
And how do you price any more than just square footage, or do you like go and take a look? Because I know like somebody gave me a price solely based on square footage, and I was like, you don't understand how clean I am. Like you don't. That's not a correct number.
So that's actually a really good chat too, because typically a lot of cleaners do base it on square footage. And the reason behind that is especially a move out clean. People think, oh, the house is empty, it's easier to clean. It's actually not.
Yes and no. Some parts.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I think that cleaning in general is like trades, right? It's hard work. It might not seem like it is, but it's pretty taxing by the end of the day. And so in order to make the money, it has to make sense to charge by the square footage. You are clean. A lot of people are not.
No, I know I am abnormally clean.
Yes.
I remember like I would have like friends come over to my house and we'd be sitting on the couch watching TV and I'd be like, I just got to get off my chest. I'm really sorry about like how like dirty my house is. And they will literally do that like look left, look right, like who, and they'll be like, "What are you talking about?" And I'll be like, "My house is disgusting." And they're like, "Your house is the cleanest house I've ever been." And I'm like, "Well, I haven't dusted the baseboards in 7 days, so that's disgusting." And they're like, "We're on different levels, man. Like that's, we clean our baseboards yearly." And I'm like, "That's disgusting."
Right. And I think when cleaners are pricing, it's hard because they don't know you. Right. They don't know that you're dusting your baseboards behind them every other day.
Yeah.
And so I actually talked to Connor about pricing cleans because it's difficult. Because some people are super clean. Some people haven't touched their oven in a year.
Yeah.
So for me, for appliances, it's straight up $150 if you want me to touch the inside and outside of your appliance for a deep clean. Because I have personally spent 3 hours on an oven. And I undercharge myself at that point. Because for me, I am a perfectionist when it comes to it. I want to make sure that damn thing looks brand new for you. But it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, but that's also different than like a deep clean once that no one's done anything for a year versus the house you're going to every other week.
Correct.
Unless they had spaghetti night. Right. That oven's probably okay. Yep. It just needs a quick scrub and some of that polishing stainless steel cleaner, which I love.
Oh, that stuff's amazing.
That spray is so good.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Works on the microwave glass as well as the stainless around it. Yeah, it's good stuff.
It shines it up, looks brand new.
Yeah. Yeah. For anybody listening, that's a great product, and they sell it at Costco in 2-packs. Super cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
a
good stuff. Super easy project.
Yeah, spray it on, wipe it on. Project or product?
Product.
It's super easy product and project.
Yeah,
clean your appliances. Yeah. Come on, people. We need to put Amanda out of business. Just clean your house.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't clean your house. Call me.
So, like, okay, I guess I don't want this to sound rude because I respect you.
Oh, yeah,
and I've had plenty of cleaners come and do my house for sure. But like, why?
Why a cleaner?
Yeah, you got to admit, this is not the $1 million company to start, and is, as you previously said, it is like literally hands and knees, back breaking, taxing. I mean, you're shorter than most, but still you got to bend over to the baseboards. Right. Like it's not fun scrubbing shit all day.
It's not.
So what? Yeah. So why? Yeah.
So for me, when I was in like the deep of Red 22, I have 2 kids. One's a little tornado, and I would like my house cleaner, but to me, it was worth it to pay somebody to come clean it because that saved me time doing other things that I could do.
I get that for sure.
So now on the flip side, in a way, who can I help? If I can help make that person's life easier by me taking the time out of my day to go clean, deep clean, or to go pick up after their kids or whatever that looks like, okay, I'm making money still, and I'm helping somebody else in the process. And that's kind of cool for me. It's somebody needs to do it, and it might be a slow start, but I believe that there's still people need cleaners because people don't have time to clean. And when you become overwhelmed in your clutter and your mess and all of that stuff, you're not the most efficient person.
That part I get, couldn't agree more. He's a jerk who I don't associate it with, but I stole a saying from somebody, a happy home is a clean home. I get it. Why are you cleaning? Like, is the, like...
Low overhead.
Low overhead.
Low overhead, and it's easy. And it allows me the flexibility that I need with the kids.
Okay.
So I can...
No, those reasons make sense.
I can take my kids to their doctor's appointments because they both have medical things that I sometimes have 3 to 4 appointments in a matter of 2 months. So it allows me that flexibility.
Right.
And eventually I won't clean. Eventually I'll have a team of cleaners and be able to give my employees that ability to have flexibility, that ability to pay their bills without having to stress.
Can we do like vinyl wrap on your vans with like weights and plates and like dumbbells and like...
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah. Like what's that very famous image of like the 50s housewife with like the red bandana?
Yeah.
Is it
Rosie?
Is it Rosie?
Rosie
I was
the
going to say
Riveter?
Betty Boop or something like that.
Rosie the Riveter.
Very, very wrong. Yeah, we could do that. Let's like all over.
I think it's awesome.
With just like 80-pound dumbbells
That's
that look like a vacuum or something.
Yeah.
Built to clean. I mean, I'm just playing off the...
Yep. Well, that's a goal.
Yeah. Because you're like very serious fitness person.
I am very serious fitness person. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that just for like the mental awesomeness? Because that's why I do it. Or were you like a power lifter once upon a time competitively or something like that?
I power lifted for a couple years. I competed twice. Super fun. Super glad I did it. Super backbreaking.
Super backbreaking.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. What was your heaviest you threw up?
My max deadlift, I think on my last competition, was 253.
Okay. I have to put that in perspective for how small you are.
I'm 5'1" and 125 pounds.
Yeah. Okay. Right. That's what I was like, that's not a lot, but you're very small. Yeah. That makes sense.
For me, it was good.
No, that's a lot.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I think my squat, it was all right at about 200 pounds. Jesus. And then my bench was 135. So.
Wow. Okay. So
not terrible.
You're in the like 800-pound club. Yeah. 750-pound club.
Yeah, not too bad.
It's not too bad. Yeah. I remember when this kid in college, Davion, he, as a freshman, made the 1,000-pound club. He was a football player. And he didn't even look, like, don't get me wrong, this is not an insult. Like, he looked very fit. But he didn't look like the dude you would think of that is in the 1,000-pound club. He was like a wide receiver or whatever, so he was just very fit and very trim. But I think he was squatting maybe 500 or 500 pounds.
That's crazy.
It was insane.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just insane. Yeah. I squat with 35 pounds worth of chains because I have to hold on to the wall. So just we're on different levels.
Yeah, that's all right.
Different levels.
That's
different
all right.
levels. Yeah.
But we're on our own journey. So,
yeah, that's true.
You know.
Yeah. I wish I was on Davion's journey.
Right?
Yeah, that's Pound Club. No, that'd be cool. I just want to bench my weight one time.
That's a good goal.
Yeah. So I need to lose some weight.
So I started personal training too on the side, because jack of all trades.
I doubt I could afford you, but if you want to give me a free session, I'd love to take you up on it.
It's super fun, but that's like the biggest thing is competing against other people.
As a trainer?
Well, not necessarily as a trainer, but just going into like the fitness journey is like when you go in, you're like, well, that person can do that. Why can't I? I'm like, because you're not that person.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, that's true. Like this morning, I was working out with my friend Amy, who runs a scuba club or a scuba diving shop in Raleigh, and she was like, I haven't worked out in like 8 months, and I was like, cool. Well, you're gonna do the bar, and I'm gonna do my routine, and you can do the same lifts, but like you're gonna bench the 45-pound bar with no plates,
Right?
And like that's probably good for day one, and you're probably gonna be sore tomorrow,
Probably.
and let me know if you want to come back Wednesday because I do it every day. Let's roll, but you know. Yeah, I do you know Brandon Woolley, The Fire Within?
Mm-mm.
So obviously you're your own trainer. It's not like you need help or advice or anything. But I love shouting this dude out because he's the only trainer I have ever encountered. And personally, I have actually had a lot of trainers in my life. And he's the only one I've ever encountered who was once like a 300-pound diabetic and is now an incredible fit, not diabetic. Like got rid of his type 2, now is just not diabetic. Like it can be done with diet and exercise instead of medication that we all just assume everybody needs. He changed his lifestyle the correct way, and like he's a licensed nutritionist as well, which not every trainer has both, which I really love. And then he's also like the fire within refers to like, I'm paraphrasing, and Brandon, if you're listening and I'm screwing this up, I apologize, but it's like burn away yourself like a phoenix and emerge back
cool. Yeah.
with like new habits, because like, you know, it's always a how quickly can somebody get in shape?
Right.
You know, I have a wedding in 6 months, or I have something in 30 days and do this crash diet and this insane. And it's like, it's not an actual real lifestyle.
Right.
It's something you're doing for that thing. Even I'm sure when you were gearing up to compete, you probably did some stuff for the 3 months before that was not real life.
Right.
It was like, we're competing, so this is what we have to do for 3 months. Yeah. Brandon is very much the dude who's like, I know how to do that, but I'm not the trainer for that. You come to me when you want to change your life.
Yeah. Super important.
Completely change your life.
Where's he out of?
He's in Cary.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
he's right here. I did his podcast. He's done mine. And I even paid him to come over and do like 2 quasi training sessions where I was like, I already have a great routine that I know works. I want you to just form check me.
Yeah.
And he was like, I got you. And he came over, and I'm still riding the high a little bit. When I did like skull crusher tricep, he was like, well, according to the Academy of like Medical Science, you can't do it better than that. But I'd like to show you this other variation when you get bored. And I was like, man, can I quote you? Like, that was awesome to hear. Yeah, it made me feel so good. But
awesome.
Yeah, I just like, it's just such a refreshing take in this world of Instagram and Facebook and all these ads. Take this fat buster and hydroxy cut, and like you can look like this fitness model that's been airbrushed and CGI'd in 7 minutes if you do 6-minute abs and stretch for 1 minute. It's like, wait a minute.
It's insane. Actually, through this journey, I have met, I don't know if you've heard of Coach Bryant Reed. He's out of Wake Forest.
Reed sounds familiar, but I feel like I know a different Reed.
So he actually wrote a book called Tested Never Defeated, and it kind of gives his journey of his life. And again, same concept, like started rough, overcame a lot of things. And actually, I want to shout him out because he just finished a 100-mile race yesterday.
Wow.
And he posted on Facebook, and I just think that's super awesome. Like, I've been following, I feel like a stalker, sorry, man, but just really cool.
What does that take, like 2 weeks?
I think he's been training since February.
No, like the actual race.
I think, I can't remember exactly. He had posted it, but I think
Can't
it was like
do more than like 10 miles a day.
30 hours.
30 out, like nonstop? Like he ran through the night?
Yeah.
What?
So freaking,
Yeah, because that's normal and healthy behavior. What? Why? 30 hours?
But like just overcoming that. Like, can you imagine? Like, and then I look at myself and I'm like, shit, I'm bitching about, having to do this thing.
What are you talking about? You lift every day.
I do.
I see you on Facebook.
But like,
you're like, here's me deadlifting. Here's me flexing a tricep in the bathroom mirror of the same gym mirror. And then here's me motivationally talking. It's all every day. That's you on Facebook.
But like, it's people like Coach Reed that I follow that I'm like, man, like that keeps me motivated to keep doing the thing.
Yeah, I follow The Rock. It works.
Right.
Yeah, the dude's a monster. I might have a chance to meet him next month.
That's
it's like
awesome.
50-50 shot.
Okay.
And I'm debating, like, do I wear his shoes to meet him?
You should.
I think so.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Be that guy.
I think I should be that guy. I don't think I'm going to wear the hoodie that says Project Rock.
I think you should.
I won't wear the hoodie. Yeah. I'll run it by the people who may be bringing me. But I think I will wear the sneakers and just be like, hey, man, I got to get this fanboy out of the way real quick. Right. Been following you since I was a wee lass, watching you wrestle. The Mummy's one of my favorite movies. I love you, and I wear your shoes, and I love your tequila. Now, go back.
Are you going to have him sign your shoes?
Oh, shit.
Oh, you didn't think about that?
I did not think about that. I actually was not going to ask him to sign me anything. I was just going to try to be like, hey, I just want to tell you you're the man, and thanks for your motivation, and then just like
then sign my shoes.
Let the business meeting continue, but maybe I'll bring a Sharpie. The problem is I can't wear them.
Right.
Yeah. We're not going to buy a new pair.
Yeah. But
maybe, yeah. Might be worth it.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth it.
Okay.
I am.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, fine.
I twist your arm.
I mean, it's not that hard of a twist. Yeah. I mean,
you're like fanboying over here.
I'm very fanboying. There's very few people that I fanboy over.
That's awesome.
Like I was in New York City in June, saw 2 different actors. Michael Shannon was the most famous one, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, it's Michael Shannon. That's cool." But like, I didn't need to go meet him or anything like that. But The Rock is different.
The Rock is different.
The Rock is different.
And I feel like he would honor your Sharpie sneakers. I think you'd sign them.
I feel like he really would. If he's faking the super nice personality that's on the internet, he's the best actor on the planet. Because otherwise, I feel like he just is a genuine dude. I don't know. I don't know the dude. I don't know anybody who knows the dude. Somebody I know is doing a job, possibly, maybe, for somebody he knows. And I might meet some people. But that's all I can say. And that's all I actually know. But he sure seems like a nice, genuine guy on, like, Instagram. On Facebook, seems like a good dude. I like his movies.
But we did just talk about hydroxycut and, all of the...
Yeah. Oh, he's on roids.
Well, no, not just that, but like being able to, put that out there that you're a genuine person. You may not be.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, if he's faking it, he's the best actor ever because he's just been continuously faking this nice guy personality forever. But
fake it till you make it.
He made it.
He made it.
Yeah, but he's still faking it if he's faking it, is all I'm saying. Yeah.
True.
But he's definitely on something performance enhancing. There's no way. There's no way that dude's natural. He won't tell me. And I will not ask him. That part, that's where I draw the line. Be like, hey
man.
Mr. Rock, what PEDs do you take? Yeah. He'll just be like, I eat 47 pounds of cod a week. I don't need PEDs. He has his own river of bass.
No, I had no idea.
That he like goes in his backyard and fishes and then eats it. Like he like, I don't know what the term is, seed it, I guess, or feed it, whatever. He like puts fish in, lets them grow to maturity. And like in Virginia, he has his house in Virginia. He has just like a stream where he puts his bass in.
I think you need one of those.
Oh yeah. My own bass stream.
Your own bass stream.
have you ever seen the like fish farm where it's basically just a barrel and like, yeah, I've thought about doing that.
Put some salmon in there.
Yeah, legitimately I have, because it's like if you make it small enough where, you're not just wasting it. Yeah. Then like, when I build my new house on my new land, my neighbor, we could swap salmon for eggs or, he's got a garden full of veggies. I'll be like, well, I got the fish taken care of and, we'll do a barter system.
There you go.
Yeah, which, especially if it's like organic, I guess I still have to call it farm raised, but still organic farm raised.
Yeah.
Salmon.
Yeah.
I like making fun of my buddies who say salmon.
I was going to say, is it salmon?
It's definitely salmon. Yeah, no, I was joking. Yeah. I have one buddy. I don't think he listens, so he won't be offended, but I'm not going to call out his name. He says, Salmon, have you heard of General Tso's chicken? You never heard of General Tso's chicken?
Yeah.
Like a
Oh,
Chinese
yes,
food?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He says General Tso because that's how Tsao is spelled. TSO
awesome.
with an apostrophe. He
Yes.
says General Tso. And the other story I got to tell is I asked him to go get me a baguette just from the bakery at like Harris Teeter.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, just grab a thing of bread. I'm going to cut it open and do like bread, butter and garlic. I'm making pasta. He was coming over for dinner. And he arrived with a box from the frozen section that said garlic flavored Texas toast. And I was like, I love you so much, but what is this?
Does he also say jalapeno?
I don't think so, but I've never asked him to say jalapeno. Maybe I got to call him. I got to text him and be like, can you read this word? Because if I say jalapeno, he'll be like, why? It's jalapeno. No.
Right, yeah. Be like, how do you pronounce this?
He is legitimately one of my best friends, so this is all in love. But, like, I still laugh. This was, like, 9 years ago, all three of these things happened. I still laugh about them.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And, like, my family members and I can be, like, not talking and arrive somewhere, just be like, Solomon! And people will just laugh. Like, it's just one of those things. It's become a thing. Yeah. But, yeah, I can't help it. Okay, so before we just get way too far off track, which I do not mind at all, Red 22 is pretty easy to Google, and you were already on, but what's that contact? And then also, if it's a different contact, what is the Built2clean contact?
Yeah, so Built2clean has a Facebook page, and it's built the number 2 clean.
Okay.
And it's my number, which 716-545-8001. I know it's an upstate New York number, but
It's all right. I'm from upstate New York as well.
I am here.
845. Woo woo.
That's central, right?
If you live there, you call it upstate New York, but sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Where are you from? I forgot.
Like Niagara Falls area.
Okay, that's like Canada.
Western New York.
Yeah, that's Canada.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Pretty
just the line is moved, but that's Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm from like near Poughkeepsie, so
Oh, okay.
like still 2 hours from the city, but it all depends on where you're from. I call the city, and then everything else is upstate New York.
That makes
So it's like when the minute you get to Westchester, it's upstate New York.
Yeah.
To
That's
me.
what I heard. I had a conversation yesterday about that. But working on a website and working on a link to be able to schedule cleans instead of having to call.
Nice.
I feel like
Okay.
people don't want to call anymore. They just want to schedule.
I do think, the world has become, especially as the younger generation moves from not in a position to like own a home or even be renting an apartment, like could be high school or college or whatever, and like not cleaning is not the thing. As they become what we will call a young adult, the younger generation very much does not like calling. They much prefer texting.
Yes.
And so that translates into book here instead of call this number. Yeah.
And I think my daughter's 14, and I've even explained to her, like, her generation of kids aren't taught to clean. Like, they don't have that level of standard.
My generation wasn't taught to clean.
So
I didn't have home ec. Like, I am an astounding, amazing cook, and I'm not even like blowing smoke up my own ass. But it's because my mother put me on a high stool with a tiny knife that I couldn't cut myself with and said, cut these carrots at 5 years old.
Right.
And my brother, same thing. And we just ever since, cooking's just, it's incredible.
Yep.
So we've just always been doing it.
But it's not like that.
No, it's not like that. We know we're the exception, but it took us years to realize we were the exception.
Right. Right.
And now I see how my brother and sister-in-law raise their kids. They're going to be the most amazing cooks. Like, they know how to farm. They know how to handle all these animals. They're not afraid of the kitchen. They're allowed in the kitchen.
Right.
That last part's a big thing, though.
It's huge because most homes are being built without kitchens now.
Or
small.
but also generationally, I'm more meant. I want to come back to what you said, but I more meant that last part was a big thing because my dad, for example, can't cook, but it's not his fault.
Right.
My grandmother did not let him in the kitchen.
That
Didn't
makes
let my
sense.
grandfather in the kitchen. That was her kitchen.
That was her kitchen. Makes sense.
And comparing my mom to my grandma, this is a great example. Like my mom, the kitchen was big and open and part of the house. And, you know, as people arrive, she's cooking. Hey, come on in. The wine's over there. And, you know, the next couple comes in. Oh, it's Harry and Lily. Harry, get your ass over here. I need you to do the onions. Like, and the cooking is almost the event.
Right.
Whereas
Right.
my grandmother, when we arrive at 5 o'clock for a 7 o'clock dinner, she has cooked everything. It's in a nice casserole dish. It's in the oven at 200 heating. She's changed clothes. Hors d'oeuvres are out, and it's cocktail and hors d'oeuvre time. We are not cooking in front of people.
Right.
And it's 6:55. Let me pull it out of the oven, and we're eating.
Yep.
And neither is correct, and neither is wrong. It's just
Absolutely.
very different generational things. But my dad, if it's not grilling or really burnt eggs or French toast, he can't do it.
Yeah.
He just can't do it.
Makes
You
sense.
can't do it. We're here with Willie Bear, the studio dog. But I want to come back to what you just said because it's very interesting, and I don't even know if I fully understand what you said. But you're saying that houses are being built without kitchens. What house have you seen without a kitchen?
I take that back. Just smaller kitchens. Like
Okay,
you said, that was
okay.
the center of the house.
Yeah.
You know, where I think now it's a living room or an office space even. Sometimes I feel like it's bigger than a kitchen. There's not that room for the camaraderie, for the family time. It's really kind of shoved out because you can go down the street and get fast food and it's quicker because we're living so fast paced. Which again is why cleaning is kind of important to me, because if I can bring that to families that allow them that time to cook, that allow them that family time, if that takes that off their plate, like that's huge.
And on the back of your business card, print a little nutritional thing about
Right.
fast food, how
Exactly.
it's
How
just
it's
murdering
terrible.
them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Haven't ate fast food in like 13 years.
I haven't ate fast food in like 5 weeks, but
Except for Chick-fil-A. I can't.
No, I cut that too.
Their grilled nuggies are like my
Does
favorite.
that count? Well, yeah, it's the wrong oil.
Yeah, I mean, it's
unfortunately.
not great for you.
It's
It's a
peanut
better
oil.
it's a better alternative.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's even my mind went there when again meeting with Brandon, and he educated me about even the oil types, and he was like, if it's not coconut or olive or avocado, like just don't do it. And I was like, okay. So the grilled nuggies at Chick-fil-A, and he was like, that's everybody's go-to, and he's like, they're still done in this like peanut oil or whatever. And I was like, okay, so I just have to delete the Chick-fil-A app. He was like, I mean, I would. And I was like, okay, we're doing it.
yeah.
You know, it takes like almost losing a family member to be like, let's get your health in order.
It's
And-
super important. And
It's
it's
very
so it's so undervalued and underlooked, and yeah, we could have a whole nother conversation.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
that.
It is kind of strange how it's like, especially in this country that's, you know, the claimed biggest, badass, most awesome country, most like technologically advanced, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, we still have this mindset that's just like live fast, and instead of die young, it's live fast, get old, and everything breaks down and you have to take like 100 medications
Right.
instead of live a little slower and just take care of yourself and like look at the whole picture in terms of like, well, you could eat that garbage for 60 years
Right.
and then need medication for 20 years. Or you could just not eat that garbage or eat it once a month. Like
Yeah.
it's just a really strange
It's
mindset
so strange.
that I don't even know like how it happened. I guess my very, very uneducated guess would be maybe when pharmaceutical companies were allowed to start advertising on TV, they were like, well, let's pump them full of garbage because we've got the cure for the garbage disease.
I think that has a lot to do with it. It's amazing how many times I have been ridiculed by people even close to me of, "Oh, come on, it's just one time, you know, eat this." And I'm like, "Man, if I did that to you about healthy salad, you would, you know, ridicule the shit out of me, but or like bringing a gallon with you. It's nothing for somebody to drink 4, you know, things of Pepsi at dinner, but you bring a gallon of water with you where you go, and you're like, why are you doing that? That's too much."
I have definitely just kind of removed the people from my life that do that. And I
Me
have
too.
noticed that I have actually noticed that that there are people in my life that I really thought would be a hindrance. and they're the most supportive people. Like my friend Taylor, she is very large. This is not an insult. This is a fact. She'll be the first one to be like, I'm large and in charge. I'm proud of it. Like, she's badass.
I love it.
Yeah, no, Taylor's awesome. But, like, she recently is like, you know, I want to cut out Red Bulls and start going to the gym and get on a treadmill. And I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And we happened to just be in Texas together where she was working and I wasn't. And she was like, oh, so what'd you do today while we were working? And I was like, well, I walked 6 miles around this weird mall. I went to the hotel gym. And she was like, you walked 6 freaking miles? Like, hell yeah. And like, yesterday I was texting her and I was like, yeah, I got caught in the rain in the middle of my walk. And she's like, get it, fam. Like, just like so unnecessarily supportive. But it's like, you know, the people who, like you said, are like, well, why don't you just eat it once? Like, it's not that big a deal. It's like, you don't understand. And I legitimately think they don't understand.
No,
where it's like, it's not that I couldn't eat it once. I could. But what you don't get is like, I'm not eating it because in the morning I won't feel good if I eat it. Right. Like, it doesn't, maybe you don't realize my body is worse than yours at accepting that.
Yep.
Or the reality of the situation is you've been eating that for so long, you just think this is how you're supposed to feel. And in fact, you've just been operating at 85% and you don't know what 100% feels like because of inflammation and garbage that you've been putting in your body and whiskey and this, that, and the third. And let's be really clear. I am not some like perfect epitome of health. I'm not some Adonis Greek statue who only eats figs. Like, let's be really, really clear, you know, but at the same time, it doesn't take an insane amount of education.
Right.
And again, I shout out Brandon, who like, I didn't even know what gut bacteria was 3 months ago. I didn't know what candida, the bacteria that feeds on sugar, was. I had no idea. I just didn't know that was a thing. And it took him dumbing it down to Corbett level, which he's really good at, being like, well, yeah, so this is what's going on, and you want this bacteria, you have this bacteria because of all the sugar, so cut out the sugar, the good bacteria will eat the bad bacteria, and you're going to feel like you're freaking dying of the flu for a week because sugar is 10 times more addictive than cocaine. And I was like, did you say 10? He was like, yeah, 10 times more addictive than cocaine. That thing we see in movies, that's the most addictive thing. It's actually Snickers. And I was like, okay, that's why I have the flu. He's like, you don't have the flu. You have sugar withdrawal. I couldn't believe it.
I don't know if you've ever done, you should Google search. They have, and it's similar in a sense of the process, but spider on caffeine versus cocaine, and I think weed is the other one. But if you Google their webs, caffeine has that same, like, what it does to your body is equivalent to what drugs do to your body, and we are still addicted to caffeine, just like we are sugar. So it's...
Yeah. Caffeine was another one that Brandon just dumbed it down. He was like, you need to realize it has a 8 to 12 hour, so average 10-hour shelf life of only 50%. So when you have a cup of coffee at 11 and a cup of coffee at 2 in the afternoon, and then try to go to bed at a reasonable hour,
and that's why we can't sleep.
And then you wonder why you can't sleep, and then you wake up in the morning and you need a coffee.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa.
And then you're stressed.
Yeah.
Because you can't sleep.
It's also a diuretic. Coffee is just adding to the stress. So it's just, and around we go. Yeah. And I used to have a cup of coffee every morning. 5 weeks ago, I went cold turkey.
That's awesome.
And it was yesterday, in fact, I had a coffee after my lift. So it was maybe like 11 in the morning. It was like a transcendental experience. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. But at the same time, 35 minutes after that coffee was down, I was like, do you want to go lift again? Like I was like shaking.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I've just been like thinking this was regular, like just bought 4 cups of coffee a day. Just
you're like, I don't feel it.
Yeah, with espresso and chai. So it's just like more caffeine. Yeah, just like, what is going on? I used to brew 12 double shots at a time and put them in these little bottles in the fridge so that in the morning I could just be like, cup of ice, shots already made, little bit of chai tea, a little bit of milk, swirl it, mix it, chug it down, and be like, now we're ready to go work out. Then work out and then have another one. And then have like another one in the afternoon. It'd just be so easy to make. Oh, we're going to a comedy show. It's only 5. Yeah, I'll have another one real quick. Like, whoa.
And then you were up all night?
No, I would just like not sleep well and think it was something unrelated when in fact it was completely just caffeine, like 100%.
I have to say I'm guilty. Caffeine is my downfall right now. I should give it up too.
I would say with your fitness level, you can do whatever the hell you want.
You guys heard it.
Well, I'm just like most people when they're like, I want to be at a certain level, like you're the level most people are trying to get to. So I think like if you're having a little too much caffeine and you're making it work, then it's probably okay.
That's
like,
fair.
yeah. So I wouldn't be too hard on yourself, like I changed stuff up 5 weeks ago and I'm down 2 pant sizes. That's awesome. I don't look any thinner. So like that, we're on different levels.
But too, I think a lot of people, and that is a great point because that's all inflammation, right?
Yeah. A lot of it was, it was for me, it was GoPuff. Do you know what GoPuff is?
No, what is that?
Oh my God, it's the worst invention. It's the greatest capitalistic invention ever, but it's the worst invention ever.
Okay. Tell me about it.
So if you're a fan of the marijuana,
okay,
like a lot of people are, you get munchies and you're up late. So rather than, so you know what DoorDash is?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So DoorDash is like, okay, driver goes to X, comes to you. GoPuff is like, they just rented a warehouse in downtown Durham and their delivery window is a 12-mile circle and the warehouse is just full of
whatever
the junk food you'd buy at the gas station.
That's
and
crazy.
Like a freezer full of pints of ice cream and a fridge full of cold beer and soda and chips and stuff. So you just go on this app and be like, let me get some gummy bears, some chips, a pint of ice cream, a soda, some peanuts, whatever. And if you're it'll be here in 18 minutes.
That's crazy.
And like you can pay with Venmo. Like it's insane. So like I was ordering from them at like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night instead of just going to sleep.
What a genius idea.
It's a great idea.
Jeez.
If you don't care about your health.
Well, right.
Yeah. No, from a capitalistic perspective, kudos, man. Make your money. I drove for them for 2 shifts. Terrible idea. Yeah. Driving my Tesla doing friggin' deliveries. It was hilarious. My buddy Jay was on speakerphone with me for like 9 hours.
That's
I was like,
amazing.
I'm going to run to this house. He's like, I'm bored. I'll just stay on the line. I'm like, I'll be right back. And so instead of going to bed at 11 o'clock at night, this bag of food would show up at 11 o'clock at night. Then I'd eat 2,500 calories of pure sugar at once.
Yeah.
And then wake up with like a sugar hangover coma thing.
So are you still doing gluten then?
No, I cut that too.
Yeah. So was my biggest thing, but that's a lot of inflammation.
Yeah, I did. I cut at the same time wheat, grain, corn, dairy, sugar, and caffeine.
Yeah, that's
all
why you're down 2 pant
at the
sizes.
yeah. Well, and then started walking 12,000 steps a day.
Yeah, but I think just alone inflammation, like people don't realize how much inflammation really causes a lot of weight to stay in water weight and
also a lot of pain. Like people
Yes.
don't realize, they're like, oh man, my knee hurts.
Yes.
It's like your knee hurts because the signal is going to your brain, but in reality, that's just inflammation from your diet.
Yep.
And I don't that's kind of back to my point where it's like, yeah, I could eat that thing once, but I now know what it feels like to not eat that stuff. And the next day when I'm really processing that crap, I am going to feel awful.
Yeah.
And I would just rather not. Whatever you're trying to get me to eat is probably super yummy. And that's not the point.
Right.
And I love you for making it. That's not the point either. But when you've eliminated enough things and you realize what has been causing you discomfort, pain, whatever that looks like for certain people, it's like, well, why would I do that?
Right.
Like, wait a minute. You want me to take that so that I feel crappy tomorrow and need Advil, or I could just not do that and wake up refreshed, and have some water and go for a walk? Seems like you're not seeing the bigger picture.
Yep.
But
Agreed.
yeah, you're right. We could do a whole nother episode. I feel like on that, so we won't. Okay. All right. Yeah, not now.
I'm coming back for episode 100.
You're coming back for episode 100?
Yeah, I'm going to claim it.
You claim it now?
I'm claiming it now.
Whoa, we'll have to check the calendar. I might have 10 episodes lined up.
Oh, no.
Somebody bailed today for Wednesday, so we'll have to look.
Okay.
We'll have to look. Episode 100.
Yeah.
She wants to be 100, everybody.
You might have to do like 99.5.
Or 100 part A and part B. Yeah, you could be part B.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I'll take it.
Okay, so Built to Clean. Get your stuff cleaned, and unlike some other cleaning services, you'll do a more thorough pricing estimate.
Yeah.
Because that is definitely a factor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we can do just single rooms. Like if you only want your living room clean one time, I'll do that for you. Like that's cool.
Or more interesting, like somebody like me might want you to do everything but a room.
Absolutely.
Be like, there's no reason for you to clean my gym. It's a hardwood floor that I need to vacuum. I
Right.
don't need you to waste your time.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we can go from there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll check out the calendar about episode 100.
Awesome. Thanks.
Built to Clean, Red 22. Check them out. Facebook's probably the easiest way. And as always, thanks for listening to the Orange Hammer podcast. We're everywhere: Spotify, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. If you need CRS contracting, email me Corb, at wsdg.com. Or just ring my cell, 845-489-6057. Power to the upstate New York, the mid-state New York, whatever. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Amanda. Say bye.